we're playing Cthulhu Dark once again. It's described as a game of Lovecraftian horror created by Graham Walmsley. It's rules light, very much in the play to lose philosophy. Things generally end quite badly for the protagonists of most of Lovecraft's stories, and this game really leans heavily into that idea. The system is incredibly simple. PC has two stats: insight and occupation. Insight is a measure of a PC's sanity, a track of how much true nature of the universe they've glimpsed. It's a scale from 1 to 6, with 6 being permanent insanity. Their occupation is just that. It's what they do for a living, and this may come into play when a character attempts to do some kind of action, or whether it be investigative or an actual physical action. So there are two types of actions that character can do: investigate and do something else, as it's described in the book. When a character tries to perform an action, the player describes what the character is trying to do. If it's something that a human can conceivably accomplish, that player rolls a single 6-sided dice. It's called the human die. And if the character's occupation offers some kind of expertise or advantage to the action, you get to add a second die to the pool called the occupation. If the character is also willing to risk their sanity to carry out the action, they can also add their insight die to the pool, and the result of the highest rolling die dictates the success, or the level of success. 1 to 3, the character succeeds but only gets the bare amount of information required to proceed with the investigation, or they succeed in doing something else, but there may be a consequence. Or the action succeeds but not in a way that the character was expecting. 4 means the character succeeds in a competent fashion. 5 means the character succeeds in the best humanly possible way. And a 6 means that the character succeeds but gains some glimpse into the true nature of the universe and must immediately make an insight check. An insight check is made whenever a character witnesses something frightening. The insight die is rolled, and if the result is higher than the character's current insight value, their insight value increases by 1 point till they reach 6, at which point the player narrates the character's descent into madness and they're removed from the game. There is a small caveat to this. Once the character's insight track reaches 5, that character can attempt to lower their insight by 1 point by hampering the investigation in some way or destroying evidence. If they succeed in that attempt, they can roll the insight die once again, and if the roll is lower than their current insight, they can reduce their insight value by 1 point. And they can keep doing that as often as they like. Regardless, the insight track can never be lower than 1 or higher than 6. 2 characters can collaborate on a task. Or 2 or more, actually, characters can collaborate on a task, and they all get to make a roll. Everybody involved gets to make a roll. The highest result dictates the level of success as described earlier. And the other thing, which is kind of interesting, and I've not actually seen anybody do it in a Cthulhu Dark game yet, is whenever somebody attempts to do something else, so not an investigative role, but if they're trying to attempt something physical, and one of the other players decides it might be more interesting for the story for them to fail in the task, the second player can describe how the action fails, and then they roll what's called their failure die. If that result is higher than the player whose character attempting the task, the failure occurs in exactly the way that the interfering player described. But you can never use that on an investigative roll, only on a do something else roll. And that's really the very, very basics of the system. And so, is everybody okay with that? Does anybody want anything clarifying? It's very simple. I think we'll get it as we go along, if nothing else.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I'm all good. I don't learn rules of games, man. I just play them. You know the rules. That's all that matters.
Rules is for fools. I like
My philosophy to play an RPG is I don't need to know the rules. The games master knows the rules. I just get a character and a story and jump in.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, the good thing about this, we're using this nice system that's been developed for Foundry, which basically tells us what's going to happen anyway, which is really nice because it means I don't need to know the rules either. Yay! So our story is going to start in the north of England, in a place called Cumbria, which some of you have probably heard of. In the Lake District, a town called Keswick, on the edge of the Derwent Water, a large lake known as the Derwent Water. You're in the Blackstone Hotel, all of you. You don't know each other. The Keswick Hotel is somewhat dilapidated. It's seen better days. Its glory days are well and truly behind it. It's an old, fading building, and it retains little of its previous charm. There was a once red and gold wallpaper on the walls in this bar. It's now turned kind of a red and brownish yellow. The carpets are frayed, and the furniture that's scattered around is scuffed. And there's a faint smell of mold in the air as well. There are imitation gas lamps lining the walls of the bar, and they are turned low, which makes corners dark and the shadows long. It's about 8:30 p.m. and you've been traveling most of the day to get here through various means of transport. Do you want to introduce your characters now? Would that be a good thing? Or shall we do this? Let's do this another way. Angie's going to kill me because it means she's got to go first. But on the far wall, kind of adjacent to the bar, this whole wall is covered with like sepia-toned photographs. You know, they tend to have pictures of the town or the villages that are surrounding it as they were back in the day. And Rosa Parker, you're sat on a table next to this wall looking at these photos, and something catches your eye about one of these photographs on this wall. But before we investigate that any further, would you like to describe your character to us, or introduce your character to us?
Muted.
I'll stop muted for you. I am Rosa Parker. I am quite plain and quite sturdy looking. I don't mince my words. I am very good antiques dealer. But don't get in my way. If I want to buy that deal, I am going to buy it, and you're not going to stop me. Oh, and I'm never wrong. I'm always right. And
Playing against type, then.
yeah, playing against her, yeah. But if you're my friend or my family, then you're my friend and family for life. And I love you with all my heart. But just don't piss me off.
Ooh. Okay, she sounds formidable, does Rosa? So,
I love her already.
let's see if we can throw up an image of Rosa. Here, so you can see. Lovely Rosa. So Rosa, you found yourself, perhaps because there's nothing else to do in this bar, really. There are a few other people in here, you've noticed. But you found yourself observing this wall with the photographs on it. And one of the photographs has caught your eye. You're not sure what drew your eye to it, but it seems to be a photograph of a family standing in front of a property. Like any kind of standard family photo or portrait photo that you might see from a few years back. There's mum and dad standing in the background, and lined up in front of them are several children. What's really caught your eye about that is that one of the children looks very, very familiar.
In what way?
Why, just in the way that you recognize one of them? You've seen a photo similar to this before in the past, at least of this particular child, but perhaps a few years older. And as you get closer and investigate, it appears to be a photograph of you when you were a small child. You don't recall seeing any photographs around your house where you lived with your parents of you at this age. But it is definitely you. And there is writing underneath each of the figure describing the Waring family.
I take it off of the wall so I can have a closer look.
There is a barman behind the bar. He has been sat reading a novel, Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express.
Good book.
And he's engrossed in that until you take this photograph off the wall. And he's quite a big fella, but very young. He looks at you and oh, excuse me, miss, what are you doing?
I'm looking at the picture.
You could leave the picture on the wall if you want to look at it, madam.
Does it look like I'm going to damage it? I know how to deal with antiques and pictures. I'm just having a closer look. It might be worth a lot of money for you.
Well, just you make sure you put it back right on the wall properly, madam.
I think you will find that I will. I know what I'm doing. I just turn my back on him.
Okay. I mean, he seems to accept that. Just goes back to reading his book. He kind of shoots a glance across at you every now and again. The name under the child that resembles you is Rosa.
I keep my back to him.
Hmm.
And I turn the frame over and I see if I can quickly whip out the picture.
Oh, okay. I think a roll might be required here.
Oh, shit.
So, this is where we're going to have our first roll. I think this is going to be do something else, another action, yeah?
Yes.
So you're going to click on the other action button. Now, I don't know if
it's within my occupational expertise because with antiques, I deal with pictures and books and things like that. And I know I know how to quickly whip a picture out the back, because there might be some like information on the back of canvases and stuff like that. Or
okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. Go for it. Add your occupation die as well. So tick both boxes. Human and occupation. And are you willing to risk your sanity for?
Well, I'm not.
A little early, isn't it? Okay, let's go for it.
No, I'm not, you imbecile.
Okay. So, the photograph slides out of the frame with ease. You're very deft with your hands. It will appear. What are you doing in the frame?
I'm not taking the picture. I'm looking on the back to see if there was anything behind it, hidden on it, written on the back, or anything like that.
Okay.
Because I know through my occupation that things
sometime
can be.
So it does say on the back, it's a handwritten, the Waring family once again, and then it just says Jack, Victoria, Jeffrey, Rosa, Michael, Helen.
Jack, Victoria. I didn't write that quick.
Yeah. Jack, Victoria, Jeffrey, Rosa, Michael, Helen, Hillary, Thomas on the back of the photograph.
Made the last one up. Okay, there's nothing out. Okay, then I will pop it back in because I'm not going to. I'm not pinching it. I just wanted to check it.
I mean, it also just says Manest as well. Manesty.
Say again. Madison.
Manasty. M-A-N.
Manasty.
M-A-N-E-S-T-Y.
That's not a name. Is that a place?
Yeah, potentially, yes. That would be a good indicator, yeah, I think.
Okay, so I quickly pop it back in.
I think because you get that something extra, you managed to do that without any difficulty.
And place it back and look around the room. And I go over. Excuse me, bartender.
Yes, madam.
These pictures are up on your wall.
Yes, madam.
Are they of people local?
Yes, of course they are, madam.
Interesting.
Is it?
Yes. History is interesting.
Sure
There's
it
always a
is.
story to do with history.
I'm sure it is, madam.
Anyway, a particular one that you saw that I took interest in. Do you know anything about them? I grab it off the wall and go, this place here.
Mind that, madam.
I'm an expert antiques dealer.
I'm sure you are.
I know what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Anyway, this one here. Do you recognise anyone here, or where this place is?
He kind of looks at the photograph. Just a family. Well, what place, madam?
We're standing in front of a house. Is it local?
I don't know, madam. I haven't seen that house before. No.
The name Waverley? Does it ring a bell? Is it a local name?
Waring.
Waring, yep, that one.
He looks at the photograph again. I'd imagine that's the family name.
All right.
Can I help you with anything else?
No, your help was overwhelming. I just turn and put it back on the wall.
Yeah. He sighs and sits back down with his book. Michael.
I go and sit down with my sherry.
You can't help but overhear what has just gone on here. There's a little bit of, I think there's some raised voices potentially there as well. What do you do?
Oh, well, I think just prior to that, by way of introduction.
Yes.
Michael, when he enters the bar, he sees, perhaps at one of the tables close by, a young woman and an even younger child, maybe about 5 and 6, and he will approach them and say, "Oh, madam, that's so nice that you've taken your younger brother out to eat. What? That's your son? Surely you are way too young to have a child that age, madam. You look so young. May I ask your name, little boy?" Michael. Wow. Well, you know what? I'm also called Michael, but you know what? The children at the orphanage where I volunteer as a doctor, they call me Micha. They like doing it. They don't like calling me doctor. You know, children are sometimes afraid of doctors. You know, it's very important that before you eat, you have to wash your hands. And I see your hands are very dirty. So here, I'm going to give you this. And I take out a lollipop and I pass it to Michael. I say, "Michael, go ahead and go wash your hands. And always wash your hands before you eat. It's so important. You will make sure that you don't get sick. Go wash your hands and come right back. No dilly-dallying." And then I'll go to the woman and say, is that your only child? You know what? You seem like such a nice person. There are so many deserving young children that could use you as a parent. If you'd like, come by the orphanage anytime. Maybe you'd like to adopt. Maybe little Michael needs a younger brother or an older sister or something. And anytime. And you can ask for me. I'll be there. Just ask for Micha. Everybody knows me as Micha. So nice to meet you. And be sure not to let your child drink the water. It carries diseases and pestilence and stuff. Always make sure that you feed him a light beer, something fermented, something alcoholic to kill whatever is in the water. And it was a pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
I imagine she would be quite taken aback, much as I am. Okay, and then this incident occurs at the bar with this woman, not quite middle-aged. He seems to be having a discussion with the bartender who seems to be getting quite exasperated, clearly wanting to get back to his book. What do you do?
I'll approach the bartender. Excuse me, sir. Surely you know that the time-honored tradition of being a barkeep is to, discuss the current events and to discuss different things as with the patrons. Very often, bartenders are used as psychological releases for the patrons. You seem like you're not treating this lady with the due respect that your patrons deserve, if you don't mind me saying so. My name is Dr. Laws, and I specialize in medical ethics. And I see people in your profession a lot, and it would really behoove you to treat your clients as a doctor would treat their patients. I think the world would be a better place if we treated each other with a better, more decent common respect and decency. We are all human. I have said my piece. I will not disturb you anymore.
Yeah.
Go back to your book.
You can practically hear this guy's eyes rolling when you're giving him this little lecture.
Madam, can I buy you a drink to perhaps wash away the taste of this unpleasant experience? Barkeep,
let me buy you one.
Well, a gentleman would never say no to a lady.
It is the 30s. And so you buy this gentleman a drink.
I'm drinking sherry. What are you drinking?
I am actually going to drink a white wine. I quite enjoy the sweetness of the grape in a white wine.
Bartender, white wine and a sherry, please. Thank you.
Okay. So Helen and Hillary are also in this bar when this exchange takes place. What's your reaction?
Helen seems to be preoccupied with jotting down something in her notebook. It's actually a sketchbook, and she seems to be taking inspiration from looking outside the window. She doesn't really pay much heed to the conversations on the bar. She looks over the windows and the marshes outside the window, and she depicts a far darker and more grotesque, nightmarish landscape than the ones she actually sees. So, for example, some trees of willows could go like veins of a horrible thing underneath the earth, the roots, and the skies could, whereas where there are clouds, she depicts and draws nightmarish eyes. Generally, if someone takes a good look at it, it will be quite disturbing. But she's extremely talented. She doesn't seem like someone who's just painting something out of boredom. And in fact, Helen Long is indeed a surreal artist. And she's drinking red wine. She's painting, look outside the window. She seems like she's bored. She's like, she doesn't seem to be having a great time. But at least her painting keeps her company for now.
Okay. What about Hillary? Viscount Hillary Exeter.
Good.
Sorry, I completely forgot.
That's quite.
We're sure whatever you said was absolutely brilliant. Just do it again.
Hillary is quite, perusing the surroundings with a fine whiskey. Well, the finest that this place had. Anyway, and with everything that's just gone on, is very intrigued by the doctor, the Mr. The Michael that had introduced himself.
Dr. Laws, yes.
Yes. Mikhail?
Oh.
Mikhail, whatever. Is actually keeping an eye on and watched him join Rosa on the table. I think maybe not even so nonchalantly, just moving up closer to be within earshot, just to see what gets said, because it's always interesting meeting new people. We've got somebody that seems very interested in paintings, a fellow that seems to be within the medicine industry, and it's always good to discuss things with people, isn't it? So yeah, it's just keeping an eye on making him, literally noticeably will be moving closer to the table where they're sat. Maybe just kind of glancing over Helen at this point, because nothing has stuck out as of yet. She is quite attractive and nice to look at, but I don't know, she seems very much to herself, and I think the prospect of a discussion of some kind might be a little bit more interesting this early in the night.
Okay. Jonesy.
Okay, do me a quick favour, Mark. Can you pop Rosa back up on screen, just because I've got the rest of them up now, and I had popped that one up by mistake.
There you go. And we'll bring Jonesy up as well, shall we?
Do I have to find it in the journal, actually?
No.
Did that?
Oh, sorry. Let me. It's because I've not shared it with you. Hold on.
There it is. I've just closed somebody else as well. Who did I just close? Never mind.
And then Jonesy.
There's Jonesy. Anyway, so Jonesy is absolutely delighted to be here. Keswick, he said, is an absolutely delightful village, a splendiferous part of the world. One wonders if it was Wordsworth that said something about fresh air strengthening the soul, so he's very, very, very happy to be here. Mr. Jones, although commonly known as Jonesy, although there's nothing common about Jonesy, he's a gentleman of the highest degree. His hat and his coat and his suit may seem a little bit tatty, but they are of the highest quality. He is obviously a man of great taste. He is, to quote the Proclaimers, a man of means by no means, but king of the road.
Like it, yeah. So you were out by the kitchen.
Okay.
You'd been getting some scraps. The chef there had been looking after you.
Cooking wine.
The cook, yeah. And as you were kind of sat there in the kitchen, perhaps you heard raised voices coming from the bar just down the corridor.
Okay.
And maybe you decide to go and have a look.
Investigate, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a curious fellow. I want to see what's going on.
I think so. And as you enter this darkened bar, you see this group of people in front of you. Two of them seem to be over near the bar, chatting to each other at this moment in time. You kind of instinctively know that, but judging by the way that the barman has positioned himself, that it's probably the woman there that he was having the argument, or her voice that was raised.
Okay.
But things seem to have settled down a little bit here at this moment in time. There is this wall of photographs that seems to be lining the far wall as you've entered into the room. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Well, I noticed that the doctor at the bar was buying somebody a drink, so I will sidle up next to him and say that mine's is a gin and tonic water, if you don't mind, good sir. What's the kerfuffle? What's all the ruckus in here, if you don't mind me asking? You look like a man who knows what's going on, an esteemed gentleman like yourself.
Well, let's just say that not everybody in this bar is a proper gentleman, and I'll glare towards the bartender. But no matter. Oh, I'm sorry, madam. I don't mean to be rude. What is your name?
Rosa Parker, pleasure is all mine. And I put my hand out and shake it.
Parker. So, interestingly enough, Miss Parker is an antique dealer. Miss Parker, how splendiferous that is. That you look entirely too young to be dealing with items of an antique nature. What inspired you to get into that profession?
And it is only in polite circles to know who I'm addressing myself.
I'm just call me Mija. Yes, I am a doctor, but that's neither here nor there. I actually wanted to become a botanist, but too much book reading and stuff, I wasn't well suited for that. I went into medicine instead to help people, and I hope that I'm able to do so.
Honourable profession. And you are, sir?
I am. My name is Tom Jones, but you can call me Jonesy. I'm an informal gentleman. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lady. Lady Parker, you said it was?
No, just Rosa Parker.
He'll take your hand and gently shake it and offer to give it a little kiss. But gently...
I do a firm handshake and pull away.
Okay, I see how it is there. And what's the problem here? It seems that not everyone's having a happy, great time. We're in such a wonderful part of the country. Why is everyone not in such high spirits?
No. The evening is pleasant enough. I just have a curiosity about this picture, and I go over to the wall and pick it up again.
Okay. Excuse me, madam. Well, actually, he doesn't. He goes to say that, and then changes his mind, sits back down with his book, frowning, as you bring this photograph over to the bar.
And I place it on the bar and I go, seemingly normal picture. Would you not say?
If I were a betting man, I would say that you're finding some historical significance in this. As an antique dealer, is it the frame that caught your attention?
No, en contraire, it is the picture.
How so?
And as you take a look at this picture, Michael,
Woohoo!
you recognize somebody in the picture.
Oh.
The child
Perhaps.
to the left resembles your brother Jeffrey when he was much, much younger.
Egats, that's
The
quite
name
shocking.
scrawled beneath it does indeed say Jeffrey, but this says it's the Waring family.
I say that young chap there has a striking resemblance to my brother Jeffrey.
Sorry, what?
And it even has
Sorry,
the
what?
same
No,
name.
sorry.
Yeah.
Perhaps,
Well,
perhaps the bigger shock, Michael, is that there's clearly a young girl stood next to Jeffrey. But next to that young girl, there is somebody else you recognize. It's you, when you were much, much younger. The name beneath is Michael.
Do I resemble my brother as well?
Much like Rosa, you have seen photographs of yourself when you were younger, but not quite this young. So you have seen photos at your home of you as a young child, but not quite this young.
I'm not going to mention that I recognize myself in the photo. I'm
Okay.
definitely mentioning about my brother, but looking at that, do I see familiar, like a family resemblance between the other children
There is,
in there?
yeah. I mean, a couple of the kids are actually they're babies, so it's very difficult to kind of distinguish them. But you can clearly see, perhaps, a young Rosa Parker in the photograph. Jonesy, are you looking at this photograph also?
Obviously, they seem very taken with it, and
They do.
just real quick, it's Tony's character I've got missing off stream. Can you pop her back up?
Absolutely.
Viscount. Thank you, man. Sorry.
Viscount
that's
Hillary Exeter.
No, the Viscount.
I want a Viscount.
Is that the Viscount?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought you were a woman with the name Hillary. You're a dude with the name Hillary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's a British
okay.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I have got you on screen then. Sorry, I have got everybody.
Okay. Right. Sorry.
But I have got fun. Oh no, it's Helen that's missing. Sorry.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
bring
so
that up
sorry
for
for
you.
the hold up, guys.
That's quite all right. Don't you worry. There you go.
Streamer problems. You guys know how it is. So yes, they all seem very taken with this photograph. So I'm going to absolutely be having a look. I'm going to be a curious fellow.
Now you've heard Michael say that his brother is within this photograph, and Rosa. Yeah, did you say that you were in there, Rosa? Have you mentioned that?
Well,
Yeah,
when he says it's his brother, I shall. I don't mince my words. I'll say, interesting, because that is me.
Well,
I'll point to myself.
if they're having this conversation before I'm looking at the photo, I would be saying to them, your family. So you are family, you two.
Well, this
Not-
is the thing. This is the
Not
first
that I'm
time
aware of.
I've seen this photograph. I have no recollection of this. I was
Don't you-
trying to speak to the gentleman at the bar about it, and he seemed to have absolutely no knowledge of what it is.
He
So
carries
Jonesy
on
looks at the
ignoring you.
photo. Jonesy
Yeah.
looks at the photo and he'll say, but it looks very much like a family photo. It looks like a bunch of cousins to me. Brothers,
Yeah.
sisters, cousins, and fathers and uncles and aunts. Looks like a great family photo. Looks like a very happy family. You guys must have had a great upbringing.
You know, oftentimes people will write the year and location of a photo on the back. Perhaps we can take it out of the frame, if the bartender doesn't mind, of course. So that we...
What do you mean take it out of the frame? Why do you need to take it out of the frame?
Oh, I've
What's wrong
al-
with you people?
I know what's on the back.
Just
it
a
has the
photo.
name, and it has the word manistry.
And you-
Manistee?
And does your family own this establishment? It's your family photo on the wall, so it must be one of your fathers or mothers owns the.
Well, this is the interesting thing. This is not my mother and father, and I do have no recollection of this photograph. And which is
Right,
why
I'm
I was
gonna-
trying to assert from this gentleman behind the bar if
Right.
this is a local photograph.
So here's your chance, Mark. Sorry, Jonesy's getting a good look at the photo now. Then.
Yeah, there is, and the two youngest children are clearly babies. It'd be difficult to kind of just figure out who they actually were. It is a surprising coincidence that the smallest of them does have the name Thomas written underneath it. And I think Helen and Hillary can probably overhear this conversation by this point.
Oh yeah. I would be just like sidling closer, just because obviously it's getting very interesting now.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a few comments being directed at the barman, and he's kind of getting a bit surly with these people as they're trying to remove this photograph. You can hear them saying, "We want to take this photograph out of this frame," and he's like, "Oh no, you can't do that. You can't do that."
I think at that point I would just turn to look him straight in the face and just, I'll nick what's left of my whiskey. So I'll have another one. And how about you get yourself one and just carry on with your book for a bit, and just chuck some money down.
Okay, I can't have them defacing the hotel property.
It's a gin and tonic for me, good sir. If you're having doing a round.
And literally just look down at him, just like,
My good sir, how dare you talk to the Viscount like that? This is a proper gentleman. You serve in a bar. Please know your place.
I think everybody just needs to settle down just a little bit. I didn't expect this when I came on shift today. What is wrong with everybody? Why are you all going
I don't believe anybody.
acting strangely over this? Just a photograph that's on
They
a
just
wall.
want to look at their. They just want a look at their family photo, sir. Why must you have such a problem? They're having a look at their family photo. It's their family photo. Why can you object to that?
If it has their face in, then they do not. They have their own permissions, do they not?
I believe you have drinks to pour, sir.
I think he might be bamboozled enough. Do you want to bamboozle him? I reckon this could be worth a roll. It's not worth a roll at all. Let's do it. Yeah.
Can I get an occupation roll because I'm a professional bullshitter then?
I mean, if you want to roll, I'm going to say he's going to do it anyway because he's just confused. And
That would be hilarious if he makes
Yeah.
a roll and then goes, actually, that's me
you've
on it.
now mentioned that there's
do I
Viscount
roll on-
Hillary X. Don't bother rolling. There's no
Right,
point.
okay,
There's nothing
okay,
at
okay.
stake here. There's nothing's at stake here. So
Okay.
let's just say that he gets thoroughly confused and just pours everybody a drink and puts them down and then with a final sigh, a shrug, he sits back down heavily on his bar stool and gathers his book off the side, scowls at you one more time, and then goes back to his book.
I think I'm going to pay for this round and leave a very generous tip.
He's having money thrown at us, and this guy's making it.
And
I think just pick up the drink and just go, cheers, and then just literally, I'm just gonna walk straight up, stood tall next to him, as like,
Yeah.
Okay,
And there's a
so-
photograph there. They all seem to be making a big deal about this.
I mean, that is a great way to make a mind his own business, Doctor. Obviously, that's good thinking.
are there any other photos on the walls that might be of
this
this
wall
family?
is full of
when-
these photos, but this is the only one of this particular family. Yeah,
Okay.
Now, is there another baby next to me,
there is.
or another baby next to the one called Thomas? Did I have a
Yeah.
baby brother? Was I a twin or anything?
Not that you're aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. But do I know my family history at all?
Well, you must know that you had parents, yeah, that you lived with for a while before you decided to strike out on your own and travel the world, as you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so let's say I had a brother of similar age or a twin brother then.
Well, you not that he lived with you.
All right. Okay.
But there is another. Thomas is kind of on the end. The youngest looking baby on this photograph is called Thomas.
Now, would I be younger
Strangely-
than these other people that have that?
Yeah,
appear to be-
strangely. The name next to it is Hillary. For the other baby.
Oh.
And then after that is Helen. And whether you all noticed
Speaking
this,
of Helen,
yes,
she actually didn't pay much attention to what they were saying, but she was drawing a lot of inspiration from their feelings. And she actually has had her eyes closed and was practicing something called automatic writing, which is like one of the first fundamental practices of surrealism. And the more that they were arguing with the bartender, the bleaker her drawings got, and the darker the picture was drawn. But at some point, she opens her eyes and she pours down her red wine. And about that time, she starts hearing a lot about let me buy a new round, something like that, something. So she will, without actually looking them, only with raising her empty glass into the air and still having her back on them, she will seductively say, if there is a round of drinks coming up, I could sure use another red wine.
Well, bartender, please, a
Oh
red
my
wine, and be generous with the wine, madam. I quite prefer the sweetness of a white wine, but judging by the picture that you've just drawn here, perhaps a more a sour red grape is probably more to your demeanor. That's quite some piece of art there.
Oh my, by all means, do tell me about my demeanor and judge my artwork. And who are you exactly?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any offense at all, but I could recommend a very good friend of mine who's a psychiatrist. He does wonderful things today with different compounds and drugs to make people happy, and then it might improve your art as well. But
Doctor, do you realise
yes.
how rude you sound?
Oh, I just like to help people. Forgive me, madam. There was no offense. I'm sure the picture is going to be appreciated by people much more cultured than I. And
I
Rosa,
think you will find it's better if you keep your opinions on artwork to yourself.
yes, I am quite a plebeian when it comes to matters of art and literature. This is quite true.
Speaking of
Your chastising has been accepted.
speaking of
He
pictures,
turns to Rosa and does a little note, but gives the empty glass to Michael and says,
Okay.
yes, none taken. Now be a good lad and fill it up for me.
Of course.
Was it Hemingway that said all art is useless and therefore all artists are inherently useless? Was that Hemingway? I never remember.
I know,
I believe it was Socrates.
it's very deep, whatever it is. Okay.
I, at that point, will turn around and say, I've already taken the picture at the back. And then I look at the directly at the
You
bartender.
challenge the bartender with
and I
your
sort of
gaze.
challenge him to even argue anything.
I mean, he basically just kind of turns to the side, huffs, and carries on reading his book.
And I read out the names, and I read them out slowly. And as I'm reading them out, and it starts maybe to dawn that it's, so I'll read them out slowly. So I'll say, I wrote them down wrong, didn't I? So I'll say, that it's Jack,
Yep.
Victoria, Jeffrey,
Yep.
Rosa, which apparently is me, Michael, Hillary, and Thomas. Did I get everybody?
Helen.
Yeah. Helen, you missed
And
one.
Helen.
Jack, Victoria, who was before Rosa?
It says. Let's try and figure out why I closed my.
I'm writing notes just.
Well, Helen will obviously raise an eyebrow when she's hearing her name,
Yeah.
and
It says.
she can't help but to start paying attention what's doing, what's going on over there.
Yeah. Perhaps you get a glimpse of this photograph of these children standing in front of this house with their parents, apparently. Jack,
Actually, yeah,
Victoria,
she closes
Jeffrey,
her.
Rosa, Michael, Helen,
She's-
Hillary, and Thomas.
Sorry.
Helen,
closes her
is your
sketchbook
last
and
name
approaches.
Waring? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I missed the one after Victoria again, Mark. Sorry.
Sorry, it was Jack, Victoria, Jeffrey,
Jeffrey.
Rosa, Michael, Helen, Hillary, and Thomas.
Jack and
In
Victoria.
that
Are they the
order, right?
parents?
Okay.
Here
We
is
don't
this-
know that, don't we? We don't know that, do we?
Miss Helen, is by any chance your last name Waring?
Actually, out of character, I don't think I told you my name.
Oh, you okay, sorry.
I
That could be-
did.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not sure actually if I did.
No, I don't think that you've introduced yourself yet.
Yes.
Well,
I'll do
Are
a
you
funny
psychic?
thing, and I'll point to people as I'm pointing at saying the names. I'll point to them and go, "Well, that's interesting," and I'll say the names, and then I'll just look at the lady expectantly and go, "And you are?"
My name is Helen Long. I'm a surreal artist. Perhaps you've heard of me, but I've heard someone mentioned my name, and there is something going on about the names in this picture. Let me take a good look at it, if I may.
Pass it over to her. I
Yeah.
hope she doesn't drop it.
Just before Helen gets the picture, Hillary will
Why not?
turn round, face, and hold her hand out and say, "Helen, such a beautiful name. I am Viscount Hillary Exeter. You may have heard of me
She
too."
extends her hand to kiss it. politely.
Oh, yeah, we'll do so. And just like,
Yeah.
I've not heard of you, but I would love to see more of your art.
Don't be so sure of that, but thank you, Mr. Exeter. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Now, about that photo.
Yeah, so I'll be the
Yeah.
middleman and pass it through.
Okay. Yes. There is a photograph of Helen, and she does appear to be a young child. It is recognizable as you, particularly to you, Helen. You haven't seen a photograph of you this young before.
So none of us have.
No.
Interesting. Something finally to give me inspiration in this god-forsaken place. And she starts to make a grotesque version of that picture.
Ooh.
So looking at it and drawing it, but in a more grotesque way.
Okay.
It doesn't show anything just yet because it just began, but that's what she has in mind.
Okay. Should we take a quick break?
Yeah.
I was thinking it must
Yeah.
be about that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've discovered this odd photograph in the bar of the Blackstone Hotel in the Lake District, which appears to feature all of you. All of your characters, that is. But the name of the family seems to suggest that it's not you. Weirdly. What do you want to do now, my good friends?
I was just say, well, this is a quandary, isn't it? I definitely recognise myself here, but I don't recognise any of the people there, and I don't recognise any of you good people. I don't recognise the house, or the name. Does Waverley ring any bells to any of you?
What? No, because it's Waring is the name that's on the...
Waring. Why am I saying Waverley?
Who knows? Maybe you're a big Man from Uncle fan. I don't know.
Waring. Does anyone recognise the name Waring?
In real life, yes, because it's my mate Dave's last name that's coming to play with us on Tuesday. But no.
Or maybe this game just got really meta.
Oh, maybe. Imagine.
No, I don't recall. I don't know of any of you. Never even met any of you before. Well, if I have, I
It's
wouldn't
never-
remember you guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I have never met any of you fine people before. I would certainly remember it because you're fine people. One would never forget such great people as yourselves. Looks to see
Yes.
who's buying the next round.
Oh, before I forget, there was another word on the back. You know what? Then I put it down, take it out, and say I'll pass it across so they can have a look. The names are again repeated on the back with this other word here, which you can say yourself.
Mainstay? What does mainstay mean?
And this is an educated man, folks.
Manistee.
Mainstay.
Manistee.
Manistee.
Anybody? Does it mean-
Anyone's last name Manistee? Or have any relatives last name Manistee?
From the other side of the bar. It's a village on the other side of the lake.
Oh,
He doesn't
Ah.
even look at you when he says it.
just a random person at the other side of the bar. Doesn't look
No,
up.
no, it's the barman.
Oh, the bar.
Yeah, he's,
You know what? He hates us.
squinting at his book. He looks like he's in great pain when he says it.
I'd like to go over and order 2 whiskey from him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the
And-
book hits the top of the counter quite heavily as he stands up, turns his back to you, pours a whiskey or 2, and then turns back around to the bar and sticks them on the bar, and without saying a word, Cat's dream.
Yay! I'm gonna take one of the whiskeys, and then I'm gonna push the second one towards him, and leave the money.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir.
He takes a furtive look around the bar, knocks back the whiskey, looks at you, gives a little nod, and then sits back down on his chair.
Bartender.
He's not drinking it.
No, he's knocked it back. Yeah,
Oh,
Bartender.
very quickly. Yeah,
It's gone already.
yeah,
I'm asking for his attention.
yeah.
Bartender.
And he raises his eyes.
These pictures upon this wall, they're all very. Are they all like similar, like families and?
Nice. A lot of them kind of local dignitaries, perhaps village streets or Keswick streets as they were back in the 1800s or 1870 or wherever it was, and something like that. So kind of a few village scenes, then a few, like notable local families and the like.
You're from round here, yes?
Yes, madam.
So, you know the history or anything? So, I'm just wondering who chose to put these pictures on the wall? These families?
They were on the wall before I started employment here, madam.
Ah.
How long have you been here, good sir?
I've worked here for the past 3 years, sir.
Ah, not that long then.
No.
A lovely establishment you have here. You should smile a bit more.
But
I mean, he frowns at
Helen
you.
will whisper, hardly, when he hears that.
That's very quaint. Very English. I love it. Makes me proud to be English.
I'm sure the owners will appreciate your compliment, sir.
has this picture always been there? Have you ever noticed?
Sorry, sir. As far as I'm aware, these pictures have been here forever. I started only 3 years ago. They were here then. They will be here tomorrow. They will probably be here next week.
Will the owners be here tomorrow?
Possibly. Do you wish to speak to them, madam? Sir.
Well, I think we're all very intrigued by these photo collection that they have, especially this particular one, which obviously the dear madam has many a question about. So I think it might only be fitting if we speak with them and see where they got it from.
Photograph appears to be of a family from Manasty, sir.
Have you been?
What more do you need to know?
There's always more to know, dear sir. So is the whole fact of having these photos on a wall, is that unusual, or is it?
No, I mean you've been in pubs, hotels where they have pictures on the walls. It's not unusual, no.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that.
How far away is Manasty again? Did you say he's across the lake?
Just over the lake.
Yes. Yeah, you could take either road, madam. You could take the ferry across the lake. Obviously not at this time.
Do you mind me asking the rest of you, how exactly did you end up in Keswick? I, for myself, had all my expenses paid out by a fan of my work. What's the tale behind you arriving here?
I personally have been travelling the country by train, and just I heard Keswick was a lovely place to stop, so I thought it was time to take a little stop from my travels and rest here a little and take in the sights. I've just found myself here as part of a trip.
I came to see the children at the orphanage as I do every 2 months, and to, offer any treatments and tend to their medical needs.
Oh, I got told of an antique deal, and I'm meeting a client in a couple of days.
How about you, Mr. Exeter?
I believe it.
once
I believe it's
travels.
Viscount. Viscount Exeter is a man of nobility. I think you have a title to use when you address him, don't you?
One can forgive such a
Apologies,
woman.
of course.
I'm honestly, I seem to have just missed my connection, but I've ended up in this quaint little town and this quaint little hotel, which seems fitting for an evening. I was on my way to Glasgow, but there's always room for adventure.
A fine city indeed, Glasgow.
Very much.
Shame it's full of Scots.
Well, my business does take me to the Lake District. After all, is that the place that you suggested close to that?
I mean, does any of us actually know this area? Have any of you actually been here before?
Thank God, no.
Do you want me to make a profession check as a traveller, a hobo that just travels around the country on trains?
What is it you wanting to know?
Has anybody been around the area before?
Has anyone here been? You've probably not been Keswick before that you know of.
Okay, but anywhere in the rough area?
You can make that decision yourself.
Okay, I would say I've been nearby, and I know the area maybe a little bit, and I've maybe been to some towns that are 15 and 20 miles away, but
Yeah.
I've just travelled a lot. I go around on a train and hitchhiking and all that.
Well, this does sound like an opportunity for adventure. I think I'm quite curious about this photo and why my brother might appear to be appearing in it. I think heading to Manstay is something I quite want to do. Barkeep, what would it take to purchase that photo from you?
It's not mine to sell. So.
You know what? I'd like to, obviously with Helen's permission, to kind of reach down and take the piece of art that she worked on and say, I think if we place this lovely, valuable piece of art in that frame and put it on the wall, nobody would even notice that that was missing. Wouldn't you agree with me, but good barkeep?
I would know, sir.
Exactly. And I think I'll be as audacious as to do that. Providing that Helen isn't stopping me from doing so.
Okay. How does
Helen is
feel about it?
actually painting her version of it. If you would like to see it, it's quite grotesque. She's clearly. She might call it surreal, but it's really a nightmarish version of the family in front of a hellish version of the house and an abyssal landscape.
Perfect.
But it's quite good. It's quite good, actually. She's very talented.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure I enjoy seeing Jeffrey depicted in such a way, but I guess I'll just chalk that down to artistic expression.
Jeffrey, is it your brother you've mentioned?
Yes, my brother. I hope that I should be seeing him in a few days.
It's quite odd because from what I've mastered, the rest of you see a version of yourself in the picture, whereas the good doctor over here sees only his brother. But what about that Michael
Say,
over there? That
there
little
is a
child.
Michael name there.
Actually, I think your version of Michael looks more like me than the one in the photo, my good Helen.
Yeah, there's a Michael in it. Yeah. There's also a Thomas in it, which worries me, but I don't recognise myself as a baby. Like, I wouldn't know if that was me. Like, and there must be 100,000 children in England called Thomas. More.
Yeah.
Very
The
populous.
other baby was Helen. Can you remind me, dear director?
Yeah, it wasn't. No, the Helen was actually slightly older child, maybe 2 or 3 years old, perhaps. So you
Does
you could
she
probably
recognize
recognise-
herself in
Yes.
that?
Yes.
There is a striking resemblance with some pictures I've seen in my mother's home back in London, and I find it truly peculiar that everyone here, almost everyone at least, has something. You see where I'm going with it. What are the chances of identical babies to our childhoods in the same picture?
I mean,
And then to find ourselves here at the same time. Almost like some
Synchronicity, that is.
type of coincidental reunion.
You get 100 XP just for mentioning the word synchronicity, Ange. Okay. Now, is there anything that anybody wants to do this evening, or should we move on? What do you want to do?
Well, just
Well,
playing-
I might just sort of say, well, I'm going to retire for the evening. I might take a trip over there in the morning. Would anyone care to join me?
Oh yes, it seems a fun trip.
By all means, there's nothing more excruciating than painting this terrible landscape. So, yes, I shall join you. Gladly.
After breakfast, then. Say 9:15?
9:15. Good barkeep, when does your shift end?
He looks at his watch. About 11 p.m., sir.
what time
I
are you at
see.
now?
It's probably about 9:30. I can move along. Let's say it's 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, I shall live and leave you, good friends, and I shall just disappear out the room.
Okay.
And I'll probably, in leaving, go to the bartender, and just offhand saying, I could save you hours of laborious reading. They all die in the end.
He looks at you with a look that could kill. He says nothing, but you can see his face go red, bright red, as you say that.
I'm just kidding, my good chap. I
It's the butler what did it.
trying to, yes, it always is. I just thought a little humor might alleviate the tensions from before. No hard feelings, my good
Yeah.
man.
His shoulders just sag.
As everyone else is retiring, Jonesy is not minesweeping, but like getting in with and making conversation with the drunkest of couples and like getting them to buy him drinks basically, and he's getting free drinks and he's having as many as he can.
Okay, and there is like an outhouse here at the hotel that you've already eyed as a potential place for sleeping this evening.
Yeah, that's where I reckon I am tonight. Like, it looks good. If I have enough to drink, it'll be comfy
Yeah,
enough.
absolutely.
Happy days.
And so, I guess evening passes as the night gets darker. Over the Derwent water.
Nice.
Who shall we start?
That looks so pretty.
Yeah, I'm moving stuff around so it can be seen.
Okay,
Looks cool.
Helen.
Ooh.
You settle down for the evening. You fall to sleep easily. The beds are quite comfortable. But during the evening, you have a most unusual dream. You're standing in a stone circle. There are people dancing around you, these bizarre, ritualistic movements, whirling as they hold their arms out horizontally. You look down, and there is a man lying at your feet in an open grave. In your hand, there's like appears to be some kind of knife, ancient, curved knife of a strange gleaming metal. And you know what you must do? You need to slice this man's throat, his shoulders and his calves with diagonal strokes. What do you do?
Wow.
Take a look around. I inhale the air with great satisfaction, and then I proceed into ritualistically do I have to do.
You have to. So you take the knife, you slice this man's throat,
Yes.
and you cut his arms at the shoulders and his legs at the calves. There's like a feeling of relief that kind of washes over you. And it seems to emanate from the gentleman laying in the grave in front of you. And you feel warm and you feel happy. And you settle down into this as darkness kind of falls upon you. And you are smiling to yourself even as you sleep. And you rest peacefully.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Hillary. Once again, you settle down for the evening. Sleep comes easily. It's been a long day traveling by train through the countryside. And you have the strangest dream. You're dancing within a stone circle. Your movements are strange. You're holding your arms out at the sides, leaping and whirling. You execute these steps without even thinking about them. Your body just knows, moves instinctively, as though you've known this all of your life. In the middle of a circle, you can see a figure holding a shining knife above someone who is laying in a shallow grave. As the figure brings the knife down, what do you do?
I think it would just to shout out, just like to move forward and like reach out and just be like, no, stop, but also just in the shock, so it just comes out in one full bellow as no.
Yeah.
But I think I would be a little bit frozen. I'd start moving forward and a little bit frozen as after I said no, and I actually watched things happen.
Yeah. So as this knife comes down and you shout no, the figure turns to look at you. But just before you see the face, you wake up with a start. Michael, you're lying down. There's a familiar, comforting smell all around you. You can't quite place it. But after a few moments, you realize the smell is soil. You feel enclosed and safe and warm. When you open your eyes, it's pitch black. You can see only the earth. And when you open your mouth, soil rushes in, but you can still breathe. You're not scared. You sink deeper and deeper into the earth, feeling safer and safer. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think at this point I may feel safer, but would it be fair to say that I also have a sense of loss? As I sink deeper, I'm going to scream out, Jeffrey! I won't leave you, Jeffrey! And I'm going to try to struggle up. I think I'm going to fight this sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to use possibly Jeffrey and as an anchor to to be horrified that I would be leaving him, or Cynthia, Jeffrey.
And as you scramble, trying to dig your way out of the ground, you hear a voice. It's Jeffrey's voice, but it's kind of guttural. And it just says, "Don't worry, brother. It's safe down here. Come. Come."
At that point, I will let go.
Okay. And you wake up.
And I scream.
Okay. Jonesy,
Yeah.
as you've settled down into the little outhouse and covered yourself over with perhaps some old empty sack to kind of keep yourself warm and drift off with your alcohol-induced into a little alcohol-induced sleep, and you find yourself walking across a ridge in the hills with a shovel in your hand. In the distance, you could see a lake glittering in the moonlight, and you're tired. You've walked so far, and you know what that feels like. Nevertheless, there are duties to perform, and you must continue. Ahead, you see the first few stones of a stone circle. What do you do? If anything. Are you? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, complete the circle with the stones, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, that is a scary image. I think we've lost him. Let's come back. No, actually, everybody wakes up after. But this morning, when everybody wakes up, including you, Rosa, you don't appear to have had a dream that you remember. You wake up.
Helen will
Okay.
immediately start to draw the things he.
Hello there.
The things he dreamt of.
Okay. So welcome back, sir.
My internet died, man, right at the
no.
worst time, so you're going to have to go back to...
Okay. All
what
right.
I
Let me go
saw.
back. I don't know what you saw. So yeah.
Let me just quickly get back into Foundry, bro. Sorry.
No,
man.
don't apologize. It's fine.
Apologies, everyone.
Don't you worry,
What did
sir.
you last
It
hear?
was quick. It was hardly a blip.
Yeah.
So I was walking, and I have to follow, and I have
Yeah.
duties to perform.
Yes, you have duties to perform. You must continue ahead. You see, like, the outline of a few of these stones, beginnings, the formations of a stone circle. And as you head towards it, what do you do? Or do you head towards it?
I'll keep walking towards the stone circle. I've got duties to perform, I think.
Yeah, that's how it feels. And as you approach the circle, you can see figures dancing around inside the circle, whirling, their arms outstretched. In the center of the circle, somebody stands over a prostrate form, with what looks like, you see a glittering blade in the moonlight as this person raises it above their head and begins to strike down with it. What do you do?
Yeah, well, what's my duty? What do I feel like my duty to do? I've got a shovel. Am I burying this person? I just wait for them to die. Then it's just a dream.
Yeah.
I wait for the person to die. I think I'm supposed to bury this person, so I wait and watch.
Okay.
It's just a dream.
It is. And as you step forward, after this ritual has been completed, you start to fill in the hole with the person. There is a figure laying in it. His throat has been cut. His arms have been severed at the shoulders, and his legs have been severed at the calves, and he is smiling up at you. And you wake up.
Wow, okay.
And all of you are awake.
I look around at everybody to see what they look like.
Oh, you want to get out? Your dream has ended.
Oh, yeah, sorry, they're not around me. Yeah, I can't look around at
No.
everybody. I'm out in this outhouse.
I didn't have one.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I just get myself ready, go down and have a hearty breakfast.
I wake up and throw up.
Okay. Yes, probably the alcohol, right?
Sure, it must
And
be
that's
the
probably,
alcohol.
yeah, must have been.
Must be.
All right.
Yeah,
Actually-
Helen's painting from the point of view of her dream.
Yes. So you
She's
sketch.
using brass red colors for the blood splatting all over her, and she depicts the blade, the stones, the people dancing and circling,
Yeah.
and yeah, everything through her point of view.
Yes, and it's quite an impressive thing. You've sketched out this blade that you saw, and your recall is fantastic. Being an artist, you're pretty satisfied with this image that you have created of this knife and the scene that you witnessed, the looking down into the shallow pit. You can see this figure. Perhaps you find it. You're not sure if it's maybe a little bit of your surreal artist embellishment that the figure has this smile upon his face as he lays there with his blood pouring out of his throat.
Does he remind me of anyone? The facial features and stuff.
Ooh, how about
An insight roll.
I'm going to probably not really, not especially.
Got lucky.
So you arrive, I gather, for breakfast. How's everybody
At
feeling this
breakfast.
morning?
Oh, I'm in breakfast first, and who comes in next? Because I'm.
Yeah, who would be next to arrive?
Who arrives next?
I'd wake up pretty early because I fell asleep on a toilet. So I'll be in there quite early looking for breakfast.
Good
Yes.
morning, Jonesy.
Oh, good morning, Miss Parker. It's
Absolutely, the sausages here are absolutely splendid. Are you joining me?
I'm certainly very hungry, but I seem to have left my wallet somewhere. I'm not sure where. I'm sure I'll find
Do
it
not
later.
worry, I will get you breakfast.
Oh, I'm sure I'll pay you
Seems
back. I
we
really
are
appreciate it.
family.
Well, it's a strange thing, this, isn't it? And I'm sure we're going to have
is.
to find an answer to this. But yes, I would love some breakfast. Thank you
Get
very
yourself a full breakfast. The sausages are highly recommended. I have on the way here asked the staff member to get me a timetable for the ferry or a map for us to go when we go for our stroll this morning. But eat up. The others should be here sooner.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lady Parker. What are we drinking?
It's tea. Tea. The tea's splendid.
Okay, yeah, I'll maybe try the coffee. See if the Irish one's any good.
All right.
I think it'd be quite fitting if Hillary walks in just at the comment of being family, and the just sheer disgust on Hillary's face is not hidden. But we'll go probably to the next table along, the not actually sit with Rosa and Jonesy.
Okay.
But we'll be ordering a strong morning drink.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Good morning, Hillary. The sausages are splendid.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Sir Viscount.
Good morning, Jonesy, was it?
Jonesy's fine, sir.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and just
Did you all
grab
did you
a
sleep
paper or
well?
something.
Did you sleep well? Have a breakfast. If we go walking, it's quite a walk, but I do believe there's a ferry. I'm waiting for the times.
Quite a walk. Was there not a cab?
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, I think a car or something would be better.
Yeah.
Is that somebody must have driven here?
Yes, well, I've just said that's why I said it's quite a walk, but there's a ferry.
It is. Okay. Okay. And I guess Helen and Michael arrive shortly thereafter.
I think Michael would probably arrive last. He didn't really sleep well last night. When he woke up, it was hard for him to get back to sleep. And perhaps it's due to this lack of sleep that, as he comes in last and notices the Helen's latest creation, imagining that she has it and keeps
That's a good question. Just
working on it.
Does Helen bring this latest piece to breakfast?
She does bring it with her, but right now it's still closed. Her sketchbook is. As soon as she orders her tea, just tea, she would refuse the sausages from Rosa. No, just tea for me, please. And then, very happily, you can see she has a totally changed demeanor from last night. She opens her chessbook, takes out her red, a big brush and the red colors, and starts giving some extra depth to the sprays of blood from her. She's actually very proud for what she's created. So yeah, she leaves it openly to be judged and discussed by the others.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So that
spills of blood. Yeah.
I've learned that Helen is a little sensitive about this, but the lack of sleep has really caused maybe lapses in judgment. And I will, as I'm going by, look towards it and go, my God, the depravity of that scene are those animals? No, animals would never do that to each other. That would be an insult to animals. That slicing with a knife.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So, I'm curious, Michael. Do you say this before or after you recognise the figure in the grave as being Jeffrey?
Oh, I know this is before, and then this is way before, and then seeing the figure of Jeffrey and perhaps myself, if there was the similarity. I'm just gonna look at you're not human. You're the devil. You're a beast.
Doctor, are you doing it again?
Oh my God!
You sit down.
You
get
have to
yourself
see
some
somebody.
breakfast.
You have to stop. That's what in the heavens made this come to mind to you?
I stand up, go and sit him down.
That's my brother in the grave.
Interesting. Obviously,
Helen seemed to be enjoying your little outlast up to the point that you said it is your brother. At some point when Michael was shouting, she does says to Rosa, Miss Parker, no, thank you. They say that even bad publicity is good publicity, and I do like when my artworks inspire such warm and powerful feelings to others. But when he mentions your brother? No, hardly. What does that make you
Clearly
state?
took a picture that was a nice, wholesome family together and twisted it.
This figure is Jeffrey as an adult.
This is just a picture that I've seen in my dream. Good doctor, please do behave yourself. You're starting to sound like an imbecile who doesn't appreciate art at all. It's not real,
How?
it's just art.
Appreciate art. You saw a picture of what looked like my brother at the age of 6 and drew him as an adult. That is the
my.
likeliness of Jeffrey today.
Perhaps
And do I
it is
have a picture in my wallet of Jeffrey, or
You tell
something
me.
like a
You
black
tell
and
me.
white? I think yes. I think I'm gonna, and
Yeah.
with Cynthia too, and I'm
And-
gonna, yeah.
Yeah, it's a damned good representation of Jeffrey as he is now. It's
How do you explain this? And I'll.
Wait, let me take a good closer look.
Maybe you shouldn't.
what-
Don't draw
when you're-
Cynthia, please.
When you're searching for your wallet, so it did begin to say that it's you who should see your friend, the psychiatrist. What are you talking about? But when she sees the resemblances, oh my, that's actually, you're quite right. The resemblance is uncanny, but I promise you I've never seen this man before.
Well, then you must be very talented at what you do to be able to see a child at the age of 6 and then draw an exact likeliness of them. That kind of skill is unheard of.
well, she saw your brother and then yourself, and sort of like, it was just a sort of an older version,
You see,
similar
it is,
to you, maybe.
it
Rosa, you're
is standard practices
very
of the surrealism art form. We do take our inspiration from the subconscious and the deeper layers of the human psyche. Perhaps what you see as your brother is something I saw and I expanded it over my dream. Nothing to worry or lash out the way you do like this, doctor. Please.
Well, how does this help humanity, this expressionism of yours? How does this further the human cause? Do people come here? Do people go to see your work to experience this type of emotion? I'm certainly glad you're pleased with the effect that it has on me, but I, as the person who's had this effect, am not pleased.
It's not for everyone.
perfect. That's the perfect answer.
I'm gonna stand up and gently try and usher the doctor away a little bit. It's like,
Well, actually,
Doctor.
before you do that, can I ask you? Does Hillary look at the image, at the picture, the painting as well?
yeah, I'd imagine because I'm trying to be away from them, but close enough, just to feign company.
I think it would be hard not to
Yeah.
look at the picture with her.
And the same for Jonesy, I think. The scene
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
is you know it. You've seen this. You've seen this scene.
Yeah, so I think I'd be getting up to go to the doctor to try and
Is this
usher them
who I
away.
saw in my dream?
It is. Yeah.
Oh.
You
When
both
I look
saw
at
this
when I
stone
look at the
circle.
picture, I will take a look at Helen and I'm like, Helen, you've drawn my dream from last night. This is the man in my dream last night, Helen. What is this witchcraft?
Now, please do not spare words such as this so lightly. It's just this our subconsciousness. We've had similar experiences, similar discussions, and perhaps we've seen a similar dream. Don't tell me that you've seen exactly this location with these people dancing in the stones. So it like takes every
Yes, the
part.
people and the stones and the dancing and the ritual and the knife.
I kind of just lean over and just look at it and just from point to it, say, I saw it from this angle. What is the meaning of this?
I was the grave digger, the grave filler. I filled the grave.
So
I buried the doctor's brother in my dream. But I've never met the doctor's brother before. How?
While they're having this discussion, I'm going to just go and recheck the wall. Was there any pictures of any stone circles on the wall?
Ooh. Good question.
Yeah.
Oh!
It's that part of the country. There is stone circles around that.
I
part.
pick it up and I say, everybody, I think we all need to calm down. Look at this wall. There's a picture here of a stone circle, which is quite topical because we know down south that new Stonehenge has been discovered and they're uncovering the stones and propping them up. It's been all over the news. And with this and this funny photograph where we see things that look like ourselves and the drink that we did partake of last night, I feel...
Naturally.
I
Thank
feel
you.
that you all had a dream of... You know, you use the things around you and a dream has occurred.
My lady, I was quite sober. I only
Thank
had
you.
one or two libations
Thank you.
last night.
you were right. We
Miss
were drunk.
Parker for bringing a voice of reason. And he looks at Michael and Jonesy and says to such unreasonable morning.
What staff's in there at the minute? Because
There's there's a couple of staff. Actually, you can hear somebody from the kitchen. Probably a little bit unprofessionally. They seem to be singing along to a song. The radio must be playing in there. You can hear them singing along.
I do ask one of the members of staff. This stone circle, is it local? The area? Do you know of it?
Do you want to make a roll for something here? Let's see if we can get some. It's a wireless, of course. Yes, we don't call it radio. We call it wireless.
Well, you know,
Investigate. Am I investigating?
Yeah, you're investigating. You sure are.
It's within human
Oh yeah.
So is this a thing where I can insist in the investigation with local knowledge, with having been a traveller?
You can certainly, you can both make a roll.
Okay.
So, would it be within my occupational expertise? I mean, I know about antiques, probably not history as such as in stone circles.
Yeah, let's say it probably won't be occupational,
no.
but
So
you can certainly, and you can make your roll with
Okay.
your occupation, and you can do the same. You maybe even able to add your occupation die if you want.
I think so. As a wandering hobo that
I
just
get bare
walks up and
minimum
down the country, I
need
think I can put
information.
mine in. Yeah. So do I click investigate and then I click human capabilities and
You do.
occupational expertise?
That's exactly right.
Cool.
No, we both got bare minimum.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Castle Rig. It's about a mile southwest, in the direction of Manistee.
Oh, well, we're heading to Manistee.
Between here and Manistee.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. He gives you a second glance.
Give him a smile and a wink.
All right. Yeah.
I think as the Viscount was like kind of trying to steady me, I'm going to take him into my confidence and say, you know, when I first came in, I was taken with her striking beauty, and in fact, her last name perfectly describes her legs. And I kept wondering to myself, there's no ring on her finger. How is it that a woman this beautiful is not married already or taken with somebody? Well, let me tell you, now I understand how and why. This woman is dangerous, disturbed.
I don't think dangerous is the right word, but there is something strange going on. But something also alluring about such beauty.
Perhaps this artistic expression is her way of keeping her demons at bay. But I warn you, good sir, demons she certainly has.
Don't we all?
One would hope not to that extent.
It appears this morning we all have our demons.
Ooh. Cool. Gin and tonic.
We certainly do, good Viscount. We certainly do. And he pulls a little hip flask out of his coat with a shaking hand, and has a little sip. Puts it back.
What would you like to do now, fellows?
I put the picture of the Stonehenge back on the wall and go back and say, have you all tried the sausages yet? They're splendid. Eat up. If we're going to go and we could head over to that village and we'll pop by this stone circle maybe on the way, and you can put all your demons to sleep.
There is one thing I would like you all to do, and I would like you all to make an insight check, because I think discovering this about the dreams may have had a little bit of an effect on you.
I don't think it would on me. I don't think
it should increase it for you automatically, if it's required.
Insight roll. Do you want me to do one? Because I didn't have the dreams. I think they were ravingly mad.
No, you don't have to. That's right. Yeah. Okie dokie.
Apparently Rosary is the same one.
A big one for me.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay. There is one thing, Rosa. As you are talking to a member of the staff, I can say you could hear somebody singing in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't hear any music coming from the wireless. What you're hearing is just like a static.
It's a little bit odd, but...
Yeah. But these persons singing away at the top of their voice. What do you want to do now, people?
Finish my breakfast.
Well, let's say you've done that.
Those damn sausages.
I've also finished the breakfast of the people that didn't finish their breakfast.
Okay.
So shall we hire a car?
Look, we could assume that one of you came here by car.
I'm certainly assuming one of you came here by car.
Yes, of course. It won't be Jonesy or Hillary.
I prefer the train. I have a season pass.
It's obviously the Viscount with the open top.
Actually, no.
I've already
Crazy,
said I
isn't it?
came by train.
The train.
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
Actually, Helen would like to go to. Sorry, what's the title? Because it doesn't write on the screen. I can't remember. It's Viscount, because I've
Yeah.
never heard it in my life.
Viscount, yes, yeah. It's
Viscount, like Count by
Viscount, but it's
okay.
Viscount, yeah.
Viscount, yeah, okay. She goes. He approaches him when they're on their own, maybe when they're refilling tea or something, and she says, "Viscount Exeter." Well, you see, she does seem a little startled, more than she was. Actually, before she was enjoying whatever was happening. Now she seems a bit more worried, and she says, "There were some words that were dropped earlier before that quite shaken me. Words of witchcraft and of the devil, and words. Maybe you've heard them coming from the doctor and the other elderly person. Even though that we do live in a modern age, it wasn't such a long time ago that women, beautiful women to be exact, were burned on the stake under false accusations of wrong man. And as a modern artist of the surreal era, I like to express myself openly, and sometimes I do fear that some men do not appreciate my expression and liberty. Liberté, says in seductive French. And then she maybe places her hand in Exeter's bicep and says gently and says, I'm glad to see that there are some chivalrous men with an open mind in our day and age. And she smiles.
One must always have an open mind about these things. Things happen, but we must learn from them. It's the only way we are able to discuss and find out true meaning of things. So kind of just like pat a hand on my arm and just like should heed his words, no harm. It's a very emotional thing what you have drawn, and to draw out emotions of other people is good work.
Yes, that's the way I see it too. I'm glad we see things the same way. So, thank you. And she leaves, with a nimbleness, she nimbly walks out of there.
Excellent. Okay. So are you all heading outside to get into some kind of vehicle, are you? Is that the plan?
It's somebody's car, yeah. Well, it's either somebody's car or we've got somebody to get a car.
Does Rosa have a car?
Of course, Rosa has a car. How else would she? And it's a big car because she has to get antiques and things in there. And as we get ready, shall we have a break before we drive off?
Let's do that. Okay, so we are we're in the Lake District. We've found an odd photograph which seems to have all of our player characters' images in it, but has children and they don't recognize any each other or the photograph at all. They've all had, apart from Rosa, some kind of creepy dream about a stone circle and some kind of what appears to be human sacrifice taking place within the middle of it. And we're now going to investigate a small village on the other side of the lake, I think.
Yeah.
Are we okay with it? Cool.
The village that is apparently the village that is named on the back of the photograph.
Exactly. Manasty.
Manasty.
Okay, so you step out. It's market day. You find out as you step out into the marketplace from there, which is overlooked by the hotel you're staying at. There's a lot of people moving backwards and forwards, people shouting out on the street, calling for people to come buy their wares, etc., etc. And let's say, Rosie, your car is parked just down the street. You make your way down there. And as you do, Hillary, somebody shouts, "Jack!" in your direction.
That's what, Jack?
Yeah.
That's true.
And then, as you look at them, a little bit confused, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were somebody else."
Yeah, so I just look at him, like, furrow my brow and just look at them, just like, okay. Just going with, like, it's just simple village folk.
Yes, I mean, that's all it is, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so you arrive at the car. Now, you have been given, Rosa, because you were asking, a couple of different routes, hadn't you, towards the village of Manasty. You can either head south along the main road, or you can head west along a road that kind of looks down upon the lake. Or is there something else that you wanted to do first?
Well, the road is my home. I'm the king of the road, so we can take the main road. Everyone knows me there. I'm royally. Like I said, I'm the king of the road, so we should take the main road. Watch all the people wave as they pass.
Yeah. As you climb into Rose's car, and she ably steers it out of Keswick. Along the south road, it turns west. You head up some quite steep, winding lanes, and then turn west. And before you know it, you're arriving on the outskirts of this small village of Manasty. All of these houses, I mean, there's not many of them. There's perhaps 100 or so buildings in the village itself. And they're all constructed out of this local grey slate. It's quite grim and forbidding. It's quite a grey morning as well, which doesn't help. The clouds threaten rain, perhaps a little later. And rising above this town, you can see these two huge moors looking very bleak, no sign of life on them at all, as you arrive in Manasty. What do you want to do?
If Manasty is part of the Lake District, judging by my notes, I'm supposed to actually paint that location. It's part of my job.
Oh, okay. You wanted to paint the village itself, huh?
I don't know. What's my contract? It's to paint the Lake District. If that is part of the Lake District.
So Manasty's
perhaps
kind of, quite close to one of the lakes, the Derwent Water.
I want to look for a house that looks like the one in the photograph.
Yeah, okay.
In Manasty.
Yeah, they're quite scattered, these houses. And as you drive through this kind of twisting lane that leads through would be the main street of the village, there's very little here. But you do spot a faded, creaking sign for an inn that is here. And a number of these kind of low cottages made of this grey stone. Let's have I think we might need some kind of roll to see if we can find a house resembling the one in the photograph.
Investigate?
Yeah.
It would be an investigation, yeah.
Are we still in the car? So
I remember all of you are in the car, so you can all roll and we'll take whoever.
Yeah, I think
So it's just like a human capabilities for me, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's got anything that would, as an occupation, that would help here.
If I was imagining, if I could maybe push it to mine, I think.
Oh, Helen
Yeah.
succeeded.
Yeah, because I'm used to looking at houses to work out which ones are empty, where I can get a bed for the night, and
Yeah, okay.
I'm good at scoping out houses, I think.
You knock yourself out then.
Okay, I'm going to roll with my occupational
occupation, sure.
expertise then, yeah. 6 and a 1.
Brilliantly.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey.
nice.
You're driving quite slowly as you're examining these buildings, and then you see like a small gravel driveway that leads off of the main road, this lane. And Hillary and Jonesy, you both have this sudden thought that there's a sudden familiarity. And you know this is the place.
Perhaps it's over there. Take a look at this location. Do you see it? Do you see the resemblance?
That's the house, Helen.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, Helen. I said Hillary, didn't I? Helen. And,
Yeah,
and,
you meant Helen. Yeah,
yeah.
we got you. Yeah, Helen, that's the house. Same one from the photograph, isn't it? And
I'd like you
whoever's got the
both-
photograph, can they pull it out? Or do we still have the photograph?
I'd like you both to roll insight as well.
I knew that one.
Yeah, we're not going to get past that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Helen keeps it together, and
Mm.
Jonesy.
Jonesy starts to sweat. Like there's something. Why?
This is
He
familiar.
doesn't know why, but it's really creeping him out. Like why? Why? It's not like he recognised it from the photo. Like almost like he recognised it from somewhere else, and
Yeah.
it gives him the creeps, and he's
Well,
really.
the
freaked
driveway
out.
doesn't feature at all in that photograph, so that would be a very accurate description. Yeah.
Yeah, he's freaking out. He's very creeped out.
And as you pull the car up onto the driveway,
Oh, that's a good picture.
there is a striking familiarity as you climb out of the car. Helen and Jonesy, you both. It's like you recognize everything, like the bird song here. It's all very familiar, hazy, but there's just this nagging feeling of familiarity.
Almost feels like I've been here before.
That was exactly what I was going to say, Mr. Jonesy. I do feel like I've been here before.
Have you ever painted a house that looks like this? Just coincidentally, I wonder.
Generally, I don't really paint houses and ordinary stuff, as you might have guessed up to now.
Yeah.
But all houses look like this. This is what a house looks like. You guys have never been here before. That you're just talking mad. You're allowing the situation to run away with your imaginations.
This is the same.
Look
this
who's
is the
talking.
same house in the photograph, Doctor. Look at the photograph and look at the
Yes,
house.
it's the same house as in the photograph. You've never been here before. None of us
Oh my
have ever
God.
been here before.
Can I have took the photograph?
We don't have it, do we? Is it still back in the bar?
Can I do a roll and like try to have stealthily picked it out of my bag?
Look, you did a good roll the last time. We'll just go with that one, so you
Yeah.
can still have it if you wish.
I as they were all arguing about it, I just open my bag and go, well, we could have a look,
Hey.
and just pass the photograph out.
You took this?
Well, I thought we might need it for reference.
Well, the barkeep did end his shift at 11, so there's no way he would have known.
How very resourceful of you, Lady Parker.
That's one word for it.
I hope
What is
that's
it?
not how you procure all your antiques.
Sometimes you have to do things extreme, but no, I don't. I'm very. So, do we think it's the cottage? Or I
It
pass
is
round?
definitely. Definitely
I
Looks
know
like it to
this
me.
is the cottage.
Yeah, definitely.
And I try and find the angle on the cottage where the photograph is actually took.
Yeah, and it's taken from the kind of the front door of the property, with them standing in front of. So yeah, it's this small grey cottage.
I want to walk round to the side where the photo is, where the photo's
Yeah.
taken and where we were sitting, and just walk
And you
to
can see
near
the front
position
door in
where
front
the
of you.
baby called Thomas was.
Okay. Yeah, you stand there. Maybe you have a little strange moment kind of goes through your head as maybe history meets the modern day as you're standing there. Well, that's kind of the feeling you're getting, maybe.
And do I remember this place?
You it's not like you remember it. It's like it's almost like the dream you had. You kind of there's a familiarity to it, although you're not sure. You don't recall ever having been here before.
Yeah, I don't stick around for long. I come back from there and
Yeah.
retreat to the group. It's weird.
Okay.
So
Freaked
looking at the picture, like how dilapidated, like how much has the cottage actually changed? Can we tell that?
Externally,
Yeah.
no, not much at all. Maybe the paint on the door might look a little more faded. I mean, it's difficult to tell. It's a black and white photograph anyway, but maybe it might have changed color perhaps or something like that.
But does the house look abandoned or does it look
Not at all.
inhabited?
No, it's
No,
inhabited.
so probably there. I'm gonna go and knock on the door.
Question quickly. The
Yep.
children in the photograph with the names that match us, do
Yes.
the age differences in those children match our age differences currently?
Oh, that's a good question. And the answer to
Am
that
I
is
younger than them, etc.?
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's certainly relevant.
So, Dr. Laws, you approach the front door and you knock on it. And there's this sudden feeling that you feel that when that door opens, you know what it's going to look like inside. You suspect that you know what color the wallpaper is when that door opens. And it takes a few seconds before somebody actually does open that door. As it swings open, you can see there's this petite blonde woman, probably in her 40s. Her face looks kind of lined, her eyes and mouth kind of drawn. From your professional opinion, probably could be like worry and anxiety, maybe. She seems a little bit on edge, perhaps. And she's a little surprised when she opens the door and sees you standing there, and she says, "Yeah, oh, yes."
Forgive me, madam. My name is Dr. Michael Laws. You may have heard of me. I work. I do come visit the orphanage outside of town, not too far from here every now and then. I have to say I have an uncanny feeling that my desire to help orphans may have to do a lot with my history. Can you tell me how long you have lived in this home?
The wallpaper is yellow with a tulip pattern, just as you predicted. But the yellow is slightly more faded than you were expecting. She looks at you. Sorry, I don't. What can I do for you, Doctor?
Well,
She's got the door open, not
Yeah,
fully. She's kind of
I
slightly
understand.
as she's looking out. Yeah.
Do you not recognize me? And do I recognize her from the photo by any chance?
No, you do not.
You've probably come to acquire this house since I used to live here, but unless my early childhood memory is mistaken, I grew up here, and I'm.
Where are the rest of you? As Michael's doing this.
Oh, I thought she was asking that.
So did I.
No. Where are the rest of you?
Turn.
Yeah.
Sanity.
I think probably would have been like with Rosa, with the photo, just trying to make sense of it a little bit more. So I guess further back, like probably still by the car.
Okay. Is that all of you? So it's just Michael at the front door is what I'm trying to.
Yeah, I've
I think I
retreated
would have,
back
like,
with the
wandered
rest of them
across. I
after
would
my
have-
little moment.
Sorry, what were you saying there, Ed?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
Right.
I think I would have wandered with him. I'm not one for just faffing about.
Oh, okay. So, she seems to take a bit of a start when you say this, Michael. You used to live here?
You know what? It could be it's a different house. I remember the yellow wallpaper with the tulips. It's I don't remember seeing that in any of my other friends' homes in the area, and I mean no imposition at all. But obviously, I come back to give to the community where I grew up in, and I thought it would be nice to come see the place where I spent some part of my childhood.
So you see, even before it happens, that she starts to sway as if she is about to pass out. What do you do?
Oh, I'm a doctor. I'm going to reach out for her and steady her as much as have her in my arms as necessary. Like step in.
And
Oh, madam, let me make you some tea.
She faints dead away in your arms at that point. What do you do?
And I'm going to look at Rosa and say, I have that effect on both women.
You're such an imbecile. Carry her in.
Yes, of course.
Jonesy loves it. He's not even there, but if he was, he would.
As I walk into the house, do I just...
Do you call out or anything when this happens? I mean, so there's here, or
we sort of help as we carry her through the door. Go, hello, is anybody home? And I look round for a sofa or something. Or
I don't look for the sofa. I know exactly where it is, and I take her to it.
Yeah.
Or unless you tell me I don't.
No. Yeah. So you enter into the room. Yes, you do have this nagging feeling that you've been here before. The thing would be, as you kind of move into this room, there's a table that should be there, but it's missing.
Okay.
And so you kind of bring her in and you lay her down on a sofa, well, sit her upright or whatever it is you do. In the background, you can hear the wireless. But once again, it doesn't seem to be tuned to anything. All you can hear is static kind of coming from this thing.
Can I reach into my medical bag and take out smelling salts?
Yeah, why not?
There's nobody else around that room. There's no one else then.
If they've gone into the house now, I'd be approaching it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I'm not going to use it right away. I think I'm just going to make sure she's... but I'm definitely scoping this place out. I'm perhaps investigating this house.
Okay, so as you wander in, sorry, Helen, were you wanting to do something as well?
Helen, I don't think she's entered the house just yet. She's walking around with her sketchbook close at hand. Literally, she's holding it, and she's trying to get some inspiration from making a circle around the house before she enters. But she does through the windows, because I see there's lots of them. She does look inside what's going on. But she would like to make a circle of the house before entering it.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Hillary, are you doing anything in particular?
I think once I've come to terms looking at the house and studying it, but seeing, because I'm assuming, can we see the front door from where we would have parked?
No, it's probably further up but
okay. I mean, if I probably would have heard Rose say hello, or just generally just make my way up, just not straight, not in a rush of anything, just kind of saunter up, because I can't make sense. I'm not making any sense looking at the photo, looking at the house, so I'll just saunter up towards the house.
Okay. So, Jonesy, you've wandered in. As you wander in through the front door, a little bit behind.
I'm still feeling a bit scared and freaked out. But
and you know, maybe rightly so. It's unusual. You've been through a lot, haven't you? The last
and
couple
it's just so strangely familiar.
You enter into the front doorway. There's like a hallway that leads right through to the back of the house. You can see a kitchen, which is obviously where the wireless is. And peeping around the corner of the kitchen door, you see two young girls, both blonde, and that are kind of looking a little bit scared as they see you enter the house.
Like children.
Yeah.
And they look scared as you see me entering the house.
Yeah, because they don't know who you are. You're a stranger.
Yeah, and so they're down the hall from me, and as I'm entering, where's the rest of the group?
So there's a door partway down the hallway, which
and
you've probably just seen them. Yeah, take Mary into it.
Well, I'm going to stop.
Oh, you know where it's in there. It's the sitting room. The door on the left leads into the sitting room.
Okay, but when I see these little girls, I'm going to stop and smile and just give them like an awkward little wave.
Okay. and they just stare at you, and then wave back from peeping around the corner of the kitchen doorway.
Do they smile back though?
They don't know. They don't.
And then I will closely watch them and smile at them as I go towards the door where my friends are and go into that room and keep
you
my
can probably
eyes
hear-
on them until they're out of sight.
You can hear that obviously Rosa and Michael talking in that room as well. Um,
And as you do, you actually hear Michael exclaim as he's like looking around the house and he, looks through one of these windows and sees Helen, looking from the outside inside with that sketchbook. You hear him say, "God damn it, Rosa, Helen, look, goddamn sketchbook, she freaks me out. This woman is just fainted here and she's circling with her sketchbook poking through the windows. This is so unnerving.
Hysterical, man.
Oh God, that's just so freaky.
I go look around and go, right, this lady needs a cup of tea.
of course she does.
Let's keep her fainted for a bit till we get our bearings. I don't want to wake her up just yet.
I go over to the stove and pop the kettle on it.
Yeah, I mean, so if you see these two children in the kitchen as you make your way through there, they just look at you. They don't say anything. Just look at you as you approach.
I'm not a children person.
Okay.
Oh, I grabbed 2 lollipops from my pocket. Hey, children, what are your names? Here.
You go deal with
child
the
patter from
fuckers.
Shitty Bad Bag.
I'm Dr. Michael, but you can call me Mija.
I'm Lisa, says one, and I'm Bethany. And the thing you notice about them is they're twins.
And how old are you?
That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. What's your mommy's name?
Mary.
Person is. Is your dad out working now?
Daddy left.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
A long time ago. Never really met him.
These things sometimes happen, but you have a wonderful mommy who's provided you with this wonderful home. And isn't that wonderful? Do you guys go to school?
They nod.
Yeah. I will engage the kids while other people do other things. Just
Sure.
to
Okay.
keep
Yep.
them.
Anybody doing anything else? So you've had a wander around, Helen. Yeah, this house. You've had that haunting feeling of familiarity since you came up the driveway. Yeah, and it doesn't feel good.
Well, certainly Helen is not bored anymore.
No.
Doesn't sketch anything. She just takes inspiration and see where her feelings will take her. And once she complete a full round of the house, if doesn't see anything else that draws her attention, she will enter inside looking like a tourist or something, like taking everything with her checkbook, sketchbook like that.
Yeah.
And
and
see her test.
yeah, there's a slight dusty smell which just triggers like these kind of memories in you. You kind of feel, yes, I know this place. I've been here. I know this. Quite disturbing. As you enter, you can see up ahead that Michael is talking to 2 young girls. I guess you kind of crouch down at their level, right, Michael, as you're speaking to them. They
Yes,
seem
definitely.
quite shy. And just to the left, there is there is a doorway that leads into the sitting room. You know this with absolute certainty. And as you enter through that door, you can see that Rosa and Rosa is sat there. You can see Mary has been rested on one of the sofas that's there, or the sofa that's there, and she's starting to come round a little bit. She's obviously fainted at some point for some reason. Jonesy, what are you doing?
Well, I've just noticed that there's a fainted woman in the room. I've came in and before I ask what's going on with the woman, I'm having a little look around to see if there's a drinks cabinet. Just real quick.
Yeah, I think.
Do you need an investigate roll?
No.
No, okay. No. And then what happened? Is this the lady of the home?
And this is the scene that greets you, Helen, as you enter to the room.
And it's Dr. Laws and Rosa.
Dr. Laws is gone. Dr. Laws and Rosa.
Oh yeah, he went out to speak to the
Actually,
little
no,
girl.
Rosa, you went to go to the kitchen as well, didn't you? So Rosa's
yeah, I'll,
Jonesy.
I'll wander through in a minute, in a second.
So who's here with the fainted lady then?
Basically, nobody.
Oh, so they've left her alone.
They have.
So I walk in on a fainted lady just lying there fainted.
Yeah.
And they're all buggered off.
In the kitchen talking.
Yeah, they're not far away.
Tea.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go to the drinks cabinet and get something.
Yep.
And then for me,
he's had a traumatic day.
Yeah, what the hell is going on here? I need a drink. So I grab some gin from the drinks cabinet.
Yeah.
It's 11 a.m.
And I just, yes, I'm a bum. And I just drink it straight.
Of course. And then, logical thing to do.
And then I look at this fainted lady on she's lying on a sofa, I guess.
Yeah. She just seems to be coming around. She's.
I take a closer look at her. I see that she's breathing, and then I see that she's coming round, and that none of these other people are in the room with me. And I'm not really wanting to be around when she wakes up, so I'm going to slap her. And I'm going to scarf her out of this room and try and find where these guys went.
No, perhaps you're bumping into Helen as she's walking in the corridor, down the corridor, and you scarf her and bump into Helen as you're exiting that room. Hillary, are you doing anything in particular here? You've wandered into the house, right?
Yeah,
Wandered up to the
I've
house.
wandered in. I'm gonna guess at this point I'm probably not that far behind Helen.
No.
So I'd follow her into the room.
Yeah. And this petite blonde woman is kind of coming round, and she looks up. Who are you? What are you doing in my house?
I just stand up on my full height and just like, I'm Viscount Hilary Exeter. And
Ooh, la-di-da.
and you appear to have I'm looking at the other two right now.
Yeah.
I come in with a tea at the place.
I believe you fainted. Is that correct?
Hilary, yes. Sorry, she did. I've just bought her a tea. Here, my dear. Drink this tea.
I mean, she takes the cup from you. It rattles on the saucer as she kind of holds the cup in her hand and tries to drink.
And Lisa and Bethany, this is Michael's good friend Helen. She could teach you to draw.
My good lady, we're sorry we startled you. You seem to have took a turn at the door. We are just a group of friends looking back on some history, our personal history, which involved this house. I'm sorry if it startled you so. We only knocked on the door out of pure curiosity to reminisce on times gone by, because it seems that we were all part of this house at some point or another. I'm sorry if it startled you so. Drink your tea. You're shaking.
She does take another sip of it.
Let us introduce. My name is Rosa Parker, and I'm an antiques dealer. I'm up here for business. This is Dr. Michael Laws. He's a doctor. He works in the area. And Helen Long, she's a renowned artist. Everybody knows her. You may have heard of her work. And then we have. I'm just waiting for the names to roll over on the screen.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fine.
Viscount Hilary Exeter. He's here travelling around. Very renowned part of the aristocracy. And then we have our good friend, man of the Rhone, Jonesy. He's here and joining us.
Gentleman traveller.
Yeah. We mean you no harm, and I am so sorry. I'm sorry we didn't introduce ourselves in a proper manner and startled you. What is your name, young lady?
It's Mary.
How wonderful to meet you, Mary. Super. And such delightful children. Twins, are they?
I do my best for them.
No, nobody's saying
I-
you don't.
I
Yeah.
keep them out of trouble. What do you want here?
But this is the thing. Why would you think we want something? We all, many years ago, we have a connection with this house. That was all. We were just reminiscing and idle curiosity. We just knocked the door just to have a peek in. We didn't mean to startle you. We should leave. We should depart. If it started.
Are you looking for Jack?
Helen is looking around, not for Jack, but for pictures and paintings. That's what he's looking for.
Nice. Good idea.
Oh, okay. I would like you to make a roll for that one. I think, if that's all right, an investigate roll.
Up to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Occupational. Ooh.
I
can
think
use occupational.
I think you can use your occupation. Are you willing to risk your sanity for any of this?
No.
No. Okay. Then let's just have those two. Let's.
I'm just looking around at the house. Why should I risk my
Okay.
sanity?
So you search through, and
Everything humanly possible.
yes. So as you surreptitiously, you're kind of looking across the like the sideboards and the mantelpiece, along the walls, and there are pictures. You can definitely see pictures of the gentleman that was from the photograph, the one that was called Jack. You see his photograph on a number of these pictures. And yeah, there's a similarity to perhaps Hillary in a few of them. You could understand why perhaps somebody would have called out Jack when they saw Hillary earlier this morning. And there is pictures of him with this young lady, obviously in happier times. They're both smiling. They're both, in one photograph, they're holding two very, very young babies, smiling proudly in front of this house, almost like an echo of the picture that you saw earlier.
I think at
Was there
this
any-
point we
was there
show her
anything
the
you were-
picture.
Yeah. So, was there anything you were looking for specifically in the pictures?
Yeah, she was looking for any of the little children that she saw, specifically the one that's identical to her. If nothing of the sort around.
It takes some searching, and perhaps you find them in a drawer in the sitting room, like a photograph album almost. And as you flick through this, you can see there are pictures of Jack. He's with another woman, a different woman. It's the woman that was in the photograph that you saw in the hotel. And at various times, there are different children that appear in these photographs as well. And you do eventually come across one that seems to bear this uncanny resemblance to you.
Who's next to me from the other four? Who's the closest to me?
What in terms of what right now in the room or in the?
Yeah, right in the room.
Who would you like to be there?
The Rosa or Hillary?
Okay.
Any of the two?
Who's it going to be? Rosa or Hillary? Who is it that's standing next to Helen around this time?
Oh well, I was with the lady. I mean,
Okay, so it's Hillary.
It's Hillary.
So he goes like Hillary. Actually, what's the title again? Viscount.
Viscount.
Yeah.
Viscount Exeter.
Viscount Hillary Exeter.
Particularly bad name.
Mouthful. So yeah, Hillary, I guess. Hillary.
Yes.
What do you make of that? And she shows not just her picture that she identifies herself as a baby or as a youngling, but the others too.
When she's showing me this, I will pull out the other photo that we have.
Yeah.
Just to kind of cross-reference these children. As we're going through, it's like, this is very strange. So these other photos, they're just like, so they're you said Jack and another woman and just one child at a time, or is it just like?
Well, they're just like there's different kids in different pictures at one time. You can't always see who they are, depending on, because it's not like every single photo is going to be a portrait.
Yeah, no. So it's like I was just trying to figure out. So it's like, is it more? I was trying to just consider whether it's like a timeline of the family growing, or it's just.
Yes, it is. That is exactly what it is.
Okay. And then assuming that this picture is the end result, or would there be any more with added family members?
Yeah. So I guess as you're flicking through the book, it does come to an abrupt end. And the children that are in the photograph, they don't appear to be much more than between 3 and 5 years old.
Wow.
And then any other pictures that you see or find after that would be of this gentleman with the blonde lady that's called Mary, and the 2 blonde children, the twins.
Does he look to have aged at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just point that out there,
Yeah. And maybe that's something that comes across as a little bit, back in that time. I don't know whether it was such a thing, but there's quite a big age difference between him and Mary.
Well, he's clearly successful. That's all. Okay. So yeah, it just probably just in quiet discussion with Helen, flicking through them and like pointing certain bits out, and just be like, this is all very strange. Like
they were Jack's. They were Jack's photographs.
Mary addressed to us.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in that case, she will take the bunch of the photos and Helen's gonna lay them on the top of the table where they kind of all circled around, so that everybody can see them. And she will just look at them like Michael's, like Rosa, Jonesy, to see if like they recognize something the way that Helen recognized a younger version of herself.
And of course, you probably do. All of you. With the exception of perhaps Hillary and Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah, we just recognise the names written, I guess.
Yeah. If they have his names written on the photographs. Not all of the photographs have got names written on them.
Because we're babies in them, we wouldn't recognize
Yeah, that's right.
ourselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He disappeared. He left me 6 years ago.
6 years. I mean, not a word.
No. Do you want to make a roll? If you're questioning her about this.
Yeah. Just
Okay. So I mean, what is it you're just saying to her? What is it you're just?
Yeah. So it's just like just ask more about their relationship, I guess. Because how old did the children look that we passed? Because I want to literally just walk past them.
Yeah, I think they are about 6 years. 6 years old, maybe 7, 6 years, 6, 7 years old. You think potentially?
Okay. So be asking questions about some of these pictures and just be like, so because this woman's quite young-ish.
Young, yeah, certainly younger than he was. Yeah.
So did you know Jack much before you married him, I guess? So that's the thing they do then. They have to marry, don't they?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Well, it'd be frowned upon if they didn't.
Did you? Yeah. So it's just like, did you know much of Jack before you married him, and have you ever actually looked at these photos?
He was a school teacher here in Manasty. Had been for a long time. He was a schoolmaster before the school was shut down.
So it's looking at the pictures. So these pictures with his students or his children?
She just looks at you, slightly puzzled, slightly terrified.
I noticed this. Don't distress yourself. It seems that we are all in somebody's house asking a lot of strange questions, everybody.
Do you think it's possible that once the school was closed down, he taught his students here in his home, having no other space to teach them?
No, the school closed when he left.
6 years ago. That would have been right after the twins were born.
She just looks at you without saying anything.
How does somebody leave 2 beautiful babies at that age?
Do you want to make a roll then, people?
Yeah.
For this one, I think.
Okay.
Now you can all, if whoever's taking part in this conversation, you can all make a roll. Remember, because you can collaborate on this, and we'll take the highest out of whoever rolls. So,
I wasn't talking, only listening. So shall I not roll?
okay, no, you stay. You don't roll for this one. Then it will be Hillary and Dr. Laws are definitely participating. Was Rosa?
No, I want to roll against it because I don't want them questioning this.
No,
poor woman.
you can't roll against it. It's an
Because
investigate
I just
roll.
feel like we've come to this woman and like she fainted at the door, and then the next thing we know, we're rooting through her drawers and her photographs and asking her a million questions.
Maybe you can do that mechanic that you
Is this not the
fail, you decide what
roll?
happens.
Can't do that on investigate roll, only on a
Yeah.
manual one. So let's have a roll. Let's see where we go.
I think Helen is like in bit caught in between, so she has a lot of her mind. Maybe she won't push on that
Okay.
investigation.
So if Michael makes a roll as well, then.
Is this the first one tick within human capabilities?
So
or
yeah,
no?
there's definitely in human capabilities. Are you affecting anything that would your occupation would give you a benefit in here? Probably not, right?
No, I don't believe so at all. I just
Okay.
wanted to.
Okay. I guess she kind of opens up a little bit to you after you say that. How could he leave these beautiful children? I mean, she doesn't smile at all at this. She kind of frowns and says, I don't know. After he had After he had some bad dreams, he just disappeared. He didn't even pack.
What kind of a dreams?
I don't know. He never said. He would just wake up at night, sweating and crying out sometimes.
Has he ever tried to paint his dreams?
No, he wasn't a painter. He wasn't an artist.
Quite unfortunate.
I don't know if I'd want to see those pictures anyway.
He never talked about them either?
No.
Maybe did he talk at his sleep at all?
No, not really. He would just wake up. He'd cry out. He'd wake up, sit bolt upright. He'd be sweating. I'd ask him what was wrong, and he'd say it was nothing and that I should just go back to sleep. And it happened more frequently, and then he just left. I never
How
saw
about
him
any
again.
journal? Did he had any personal journal or notepad?
I don't think so. I'd have to have a look around the house, perhaps, maybe. I don't recall seeing anything like that.
For the first time, I'm going to speak to her.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, when he left, he didn't say anything about going to do any duty. He had some duty to attend to, did he?
Okay. I'd like you to make a roll for that. Let's see what she tells you.
What am I rolling on that? Is that investigate?
It's investigate. Yeah, it's definitely investigate.
Yeah, cool. Let's go. Investigate. Human capabilities, and I'm going to risk my mind to succeed.
Oh.
It's about that time, folks.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh. Okay. I don't know why it's asking you to make an insight roll. You roll 2, 3. Oh, it's the insight die is the same. Yeah, of course it is. Okay, so I need you to make an insight roll first.
Okay.
For that. Oh shit. Okay. What was it you were asking again? Can you just repeat that to me? It was you asked if he had some special duty.
I did. When he left, did he ever
Yeah.
mention he was going away? He had a duty to attend to. He was leaving for his duty. He had to do a duty. That's what I asked.
She says, No, he was terrified of something. He was terrified of something. And you have this image in your head, Jonesy, of standing in front of a mirror and scratching away at the mirror as if you're trying to cover up or hide your own reflection in the mirror. There's like an outline, clearly like your head-shaped outline. It's scratched into the mirror, and you're scratching across with a straight razor, kind of just scratching out that bit of the mirror to try and cover it up.
Wow.
Powerful imagery.
Yeah, like Jonesy stumbles back and almost falls over after seeing this image in his head. When he as he's snapping back into consciousness, he's almost falling over as he does, and he's just absolutely shocked at what he's just seen.
So we cut back to Michael, who's in the kitchen with the 2 children. As you've been talking to them, they seem to grow a little bit bored. And you see them they take the lollies off you, the lollipops. And they smile and say thank you. And then they wander off across the kitchen, and they stand there in front of the radio that is still just playing static.
I'll ask them, how long has the radio been broken for?
They look back at you.
Wireless.
Broken? Yeah, this is not a radio, it's wireless. We call it wireless in the 1930s.
Yes.
Thanks, Dave. They look at you as if they don't quite understand. Broken?
What are you listening to?
The girls look back at the radio and say, he wants to know what we're listening to.
Who does it look like she's talking to?
The radio.
Oh, crap.
And she looks back at you, Jake, or Michael. And she says, he says you'll know soon enough. And that's where we're going to end it tonight.
What?